Good evening, Mouna. It's so nice to see you.
Thank you. Good
Thank
evening.
you so much for taking the time to talk with me tonight. I really appreciate it. So, a little introduction. As you know, my name is Heather Bruce Satchram, and I teach in the English Language for Academic Purposes program at Montgomery College. This project is called History in the Making, documenting stories of immigrant and refugee students at MC. And the goal is to help others better understand the experiences of immigrants and refugees, excuse me, in the United States. I've been interviewing a lot today. Telling your story will enable others to better understand the challenges that immigrants face and better appreciate the resilience and perseverance of people in your community. I am grateful for your participation, so thank you. So typically we do 2 interviews, and this first interview is going to focus on your experience in your home country of Syria and also in Saudi Arabia, where you spent many years. And then the second interview, hopefully next week, will focus more on your experiences in the United States. Okay. You had a chance to read the questions in advance, but please know that all of these questions are optional. So if at any point you don't want to answer a question, you can say, I would like to go to the next question, or I would like to pass, and that's fine. No problem at all. If you need to take a break at any point, that's also fine too, okay? All right, so let's start with the first question. Could you please tell me your full name and spell it for me, please?
My name is Mouna Ezzat Agha. How we spell it is Mouna. The last name is Ezzat Agha, Ezzat space Agha.
Great. Today is Monday, March 27th. It is about 8 p.m. Do I have permission to record this interview?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, so tell me, do people in the United States have trouble pronouncing your name correctly?
For the first name, maybe 1 or 2 times, yani it's rarely, because Mouna is easy name, but the last name, yes, difficult, but usually they said Mouna or Moana, yani it's Sada, but I never change it, yani the name is still the name.
Okay, and so you don't use a nickname, you use your...
No, yeah, my name. I don't use my name, and there is no nickname.
I always love how you say Yani. And for those who do not speak Arabic, we could say that Yani means, it's kind of like
It's the meaning of like, yes, is the meaning of, or like something. I never read of this word.
I always love when Arabic speaking students say Yani, and sometimes I say Yani too now. All right, so let's see. So you are living in Columbia, Maryland. You used to live in Silver Spring, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. When did you move to Columbia?
In 2021.
Okay, great. And are you a student at Howard Community College now?
Now, yes.
Okay.
I started in 2021 when I moved, or the end of 21.
And you are also working as a medical assistant for an urgent care, is that correct?
Yes.
Congratulations.
I work as a medical assistant in urgent care, draw blood, take vitals, injection.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
For example, there is a cut, help the doctor prepare the things, give him the stuff, and then finish it.
That's a very important job. Did you do that kind of work when you were in your home country?
No, I was accounting, economy, department of accounting. But when I came here, I said to myself, my English not that good. Let's let's try something else.
Your English is getting much better. I knew you several years ago, and you have made so much progress. So congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, so let's see. When were you a student at Montgomery College?
When in 2015.
Okay.
Yes.
And And then you transferred to Howard Community College when you
Yes,
moved.
I was there in Montgomery from 2015 as a ESOL class, a couple classes, English, because they told me even the ground is not working in as a ESOL. You're supposed to be as a credit. Then they told me, why don't do medical physical therapy 8? And I did it for 3 months also. I finished it. And I try to have any opportunity to work, but the opportunity is less. And I didn't drive in that time. I am not back home. I didn't drive. I didn't have the chance, or I don't used to drive. You mean, you know me, what I mean? But then I said to myself, then they told me medical assistant is more opportunity. I said, okay, let's do medical assistant. Also 3 months at night. Then I did my experience. Then I work in my Brick-Cheney walking clinic, the urgent care.
Do you
Yeah.
enjoy it?
Oh, well, I enjoy it. Why I am lying? I very enjoy it. I told them every time somebody speak to me, I told them it's fun. I like it more than staying in front of the computer and deal with the computer. I deal with numbers, math, but no computer.
Now you get to work with patients and doctors.
Yes, yes.
Nice. That's great. And so you recently got your driver's license?
In 2019.
Was it difficult?
I never ever drive, and I didn't try. Even my dad and mom, because we raised in Saudi Arabia, they work in Saudi Arabia, and in Saudi Arabia, no woman drive. That's why I didn't learn. Even when we go in summer to Syria to have the summer break, we didn't drive or learn to drive. And when I married, even I didn't need to drive. Everything is nearby. Even going to my sister is 15 minutes by bus. And I am a bus person. Yeah, I like bus.
How does it feel now to know how to?
Now I tell everybody now, like, I am independent. Being here, I am now an independent woman. I go I want to go shopping, I go shopping. I go to my college by myself. I want to drop my kids, I will drop my kids. No need to say, Wasim, my husband, his name Wasim, by the way. Wasim, drop me there, or Wasim, bring this. If I want to have something, I will go by myself.
You can drive, you're
Yes.
working, you are definitely an independent woman now.
Yes.
That's
yes.
wonderful. Congratulations.
Shukran. Thank you.
So all right, let's start from the very beginning.
Yes.
Where and when were you born?
I born in Syria in May 16th, 1982, in a city called Aleppo. And it's a nice city and a nice country. Yeah.
And you, I know that you moved with your family to Saudi Arabia. How old
Yes.
were you when you moved to Saudi
I
Arabia?
was 2 years old.
And then did you spend summers in Aleppo?
Yes. Every summer, my dad take them, in Saudi Arabia, they, like here, they give them money for instead of buying house or something, or a car, for, I don't know, expenses, like some expenses, but he saved this money and said, okay, guys, go to Syria. Your mom, your sister, brothers, and go to Syria.
What kind of work did your father do?
My dad is a civil engineer.
Okay.
He was working in that major.
So you lived in Saudi Arabia for most of your life, or for how many years?
Until I finish my what you call it, my high school.
Okay, wow, that's a long time.
Yes,
So,
but they try, by the way, my family, they try in the high school, there is 4 years, right? They try in the first year and second year to live, me and my sister, in Syria. Hopefully we will take the last, what you call it, the last year in high school. And this is in Syria, it's a big a big, what you call it, period. Yani it's either pass or fail. If you have a good grade and be a doctor, or you have a bad grade and you will be nothing, or repeat that last year again.
So
Yani
lots of pressure.
Yes, it's different than here. But because in Saudi Arabia, the education is easier, that's why in Syria, when we have the, what you call it, the 10th grade and 11th grade, I have the 10th grade and 11th grade, it was difficult for me, especially the subjects like English, and even I like math, math and physics. And it was difficult. Even my mom, she put teachers to us to teach us, like tutoring, like here it's called tutoring.
Yes.
Teachers to teach us more than the school. Even that, our degrees is not, that's not that bad, but good. But she said, oh, in this case, if you will go to the 12th grade, and it's a big period, you will not successful. Let's return back to Saudi Arabia. Then we return back to do this year, and I finish it with 96 percentage.
Wow.
And from 1,000, from 100, I'm sorry, from 100. And in this 95 is very good. That's why, of course, because we are not from Syria, and not, I mean, I am from Syria, but my study is not from Syria. That's why they reduce the mark. They will not take 95 as a 95. They reduce a couple of marks. That's why I said to myself, oh, I want to be a doctor, but my degrees start from mathematics, economic, and down, you know?
So you felt like your education in Saudi Arabia did not prepare you as well.
Yeah, because it's easy. It's easy, not that difficult. Yani anybody, if you ask, education in Syria is more successful and difficult and very prepared than Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is very easy. Yani imagine when I return back to the ninth grade in Saudi Arabia, I told my mom and dad, oh, mathematics? Oh, I took that in 10 and 11 grades in Syria. In that situation. Oh, this one, physics? Oh my God, it's too easy. I took it in 10, 11 grade.
Interesting.
Yes.
You know, I think Americans who watch this video might not understand the cultural differences between Syria and Saudi Arabia. Could you talk a little bit about that? How it was different for you to spend time in Saudi Arabia compared to what your life was like in Syria?
Like Saudi Arabia, you will be like me and my mom and dad. We have only my dad. He have only his sister, and my cousins. We play with them, and we play with them. In Syria, it's more freedom. Like in Saudi Arabia, every time you will put your, if you are not having scarf, you always put abaya. It's like a long jacket and a scarf. If you didn't put it, now, of course, nowadays the days are changed. But before, in my period, and when I was young, it was more difficult than now. You will put abaya, scarf. If you didn't put it, there is somebody will come and take your dad and send him back home.
Very
Syria. Yes. Sending back home. A woman is not driving. My mom, only when she come to Syria, she can drive. There is parks like Syria, but of course, like me, I am 11 years old, 10 years old, with my long jacket or abaya, we call it abaya, long abaya, you will drive the bike. Then that's it. When you will be 18, you cannot drive it because now you are big and they will see you that you cannot. But in Syria, you will take this abaya and drive bike, drive car, I'm sorry, ride bike, drive car, whatever you want, you can do.
So there's
Saudi Arabia is more pressure and more limited things to do.
So there's more freedom for girls and women in Syria compared
to Syria. Exactly.
Did you ever wish that you had not moved to Saudi Arabia, that you had grown up?
No, because in that period, and we are young, not nowadays, Well, I didn't think about it because every time in summer I go to my relative, to my grandma and grandpa in Syria. That's why I didn't think about it. Yani I didn't say, oh, why I didn't have friends. I have friends, but we don't go to each other because the family is not. My mom, she don't know her mom, or my dad, he don't know her dad. That's why we don't have friends, only my cousin, and that's it.
What city or region in Saudi Arabia did you
First, I don't remember Bisha. This is the first one. It's like a small village, but then we moved to Riyadh. Riyadh has a lot of parks, and now my dad, he was you call it, the supervisor, the civil engineer of the two malls. It's called Fasaliya and Mamlaki. It was in Riyadh.
Okay.
And then I know Jeddah. Jeddah is Riyadh is a capital. Jeddah is the second capital or second big city in Saudi Arabia. Also, I know it, and I was there for 2 years.
Did you ever go to Mecca?
Mecca, I visited recently. I was there. My mom and dad visit me there, but I was like my kids' age, 11, 10 years. Yeah, I don't remember it very clear. Now in January, I visit there.
Did you go as part of like a pilgrimage? Like as part of like the Hajj? Did you go for religious?
Oh, it's Umrah. Hajj is coming on after 2 months.
Okay.
Umrah is like what you call it, Prophet Muhammad, he did that. What the Prophet do it is like a sunnah. That's why we went Umrah. It's also a praying, and we visit Medina and Mecca, and we visit Jeddah again.
What was that like for you?
It's when I was little, I see it, but when you are small, you don't remember it. Now you are growing up and you see Kaaba and Mecca. Oh my God, my heart was happy. Then I was crying because it's emotional. It's very, if you tell me now you will go again, I will go again.
I can imagine that was a
it's very emotional. I'm very happy. I was very exciting, enjoyable when I visit there. I wish I stayed there. Only Mecca and Medina.
Could you tell me a little bit about your memories of Aleppo when you were a child? What was it like in Aleppo when you went there in the summers?
Yes, Aleppo, we have a lot of like an old stores, like in the, what do you call it? There is Al Halab. What do you call it in English?
Like outdoor market?
There is a market, as an old market near to the palace. It's called Aleppo Palace. I remember. Qal'a in English called palace. Aleppo Palace is a big, what you call it, view in Aleppo. Is very nice. We visit 1 or 2 times there. Really, you will see how the old, the history of Aleppo. I found it. The history of Aleppo and the small markets there. You have everything. And also, in Syria or in Aleppo, there is forests, there is mountains. There is a lot of views especially in general in Syria, or especially in Aleppo. Yeah, there is a lot of things.
Can you tell me a little bit about your family? Like, who did you live with when you were a child?
I live with my mom and dad, and I am the oldest, and we are 3 after that. My sister younger than me 1 year, and my brother and sister, they are twins.
Okay, all right.
And we live in Saudi Arabia, like I said. In the summer only we go to Aleppo. Then when I finished my high school, I lived with my grandma and grandpa in the college. I got my college in Aleppo, University of Aleppo.
What did you study in college?
Economic, Department of Accounting.
And that's different from what you're doing now.
Oh, totally different. My mom and dad, when I told them I am drawing blood, they said, oh, Mouna, from accounting, to medical assistant, 360-degree change. I said,
It's a
yes,
big
yes,
change, but you
yes.
enjoy your work now, right?
Well, I swear I enjoy it. Yani, if you tell me you will continue like that, I said yes. I will not tell me return to economic. No, I like it. It's fun. It's really fun to draw blood, and somebody has small veins, and you see which one is this one or this one. Then you got it.
Yeah.
Yani, draw the blood. It's fun.
I bet it brings you a lot of satisfaction to work with people too. You seem like a
Yes.
people person.
Yes, yes. And I talked to them. I said to them, I recognize myself. I am talkative.
You probably make them feel at ease and comfortable when you take their
Yes,
blood, I
yes.
guess. So let's see, when you were growing up, do you have any memories of important holidays? Were there times of the year that were really important to you and your family?
Yes, we have two holidays. We have Eid al-Fitr or Eid al-Adha. One is after Ramadan, and we are in Ramadan month now, and one in after Hajj. It's called Eid al-Adha. When you what do you call it? I said cut, but I don't know another word. A sheep, and
Yes.
give it to the poor people.
Right.
And some for you, for the family, and some for your relative. They don't have meat, or they have less meat. Then to the poor people. 1/3, not quarter either. 1/3, 1/3,
1/3?
1/3. 1/3, yes, 1/3. 1/3.
And so you would have a big feast?
Yes, because every summer,
Mhm.
what do you call it? Some celebration Eid is in the summer, and we go to my grandma and grandpa in Aleppo. Sometimes it's in Saudi Arabia. In Saudi Arabia, it's not like Syria. In Saudi Arabia, because we are only my aunt and my cousins, we go to them. Because in our country, this is what the celebration is. One day you go to the old person, like grandma and grandpa. And all the people come to them, from relative, from their friends, from that they have this special day. Everybody come, drink coffee.
The older people.
Yes, drink coffee, give them the dessert, everything. And the second day, you go to the people that they are, for example, old or younger a little bit. And the first day you go to the oldest people, like my grandma, grandpa, the other, their sister, brother, stuff like that. And the second day, they come to you. The third day, you go to the other ones, the smaller one, like my uncle, my aunt, stuff like that. In Saudi Arabia, it's different. You go to my auntie, and that's it. Some friends, they come the second day. If my dad and my mom, they have only 1-2 friends, not more than that. And then we go to the mall, like, give us gifts or money, and then go to the mall. Go to the mall to eat, for example, not for example, to eat lunch, to eat dinner, breakfast, because, and Saudi Arabia, we don't go to the mosque. In Syria also, we don't go to mosque. Only the men, they go to the mosque to pray the morning salah, and then they go to the relative to gather them, like engagement.
I've heard that
Gathering.
on this holiday that children get new clothes to wear. Is that true?
Yes, salah every year. Even they have clothes. Even now in America, we buy for them new clothes, and because you feel that the person or the kids will be happy, and then we give them gifts, money, and that, because this day is special. It's not like any other days,
Yes.
And that's why we buy them a new clothes. And for example, the man, he give his mom little money, you need to show her some to be happy,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and in Saudi Arabia, no, you give the money and you buy clothes and stuff like that, but you go to the mall. You
Hmm.
don't have
Interesting.
only you have one family and go together to dinner or lunch.
Can you describe a little bit the special foods? You mentioned lamb, or were there other important foods that you would
هلا, yes, we eat lamb, we eat beef also. We eat also fish, but the special one, lamb. But the what do you call it? The beef is in Saudi Arabia more than lamb. In
eat?
Syria, there is lamb more than beef, and we eat lamb more than beef. We like the
Any
lamb.
special desserts that you would eat? Were there sweets?
We have we have knafe. It's like a it's a dessert inside it, cheese
Mm.
and some syrup on top it. There is a taif. It's also dessert inside it, like a cream cheese.
Mhm.
Yeah, and this is you serve it to the people when they come to you.
Do you make these traditional dishes now when you're living in America for your family?
Yes, I make it, but يعني not every day. Like I make, I because I
Special
work.
occasions.
Yes, one time I make also معمول. It's معمول inside it pistachio.
That sounds
It's
delicious.
delicious. Yes, I make it one time. I make a taif, and my kids they said to me, "Mama, when you will do it again?" I said, "Okay, when I have a weekend, I will do it again."
Um, when you let's see. Oh, what was the Arabic that you spoke in Aleppo different from the Arabic that you spoke in Saudi Arabia? Was it a different?
هلا, the language Arabic is the same, but there is like a dialect. Like when you go from state to state, you know, this is from he's from Texas, he's from Maryland. This is the same. When he speak, the accent or the dialect, oh yeah, he's from Saudi Arabia. Oh yeah, he's from Egypt. Some words is different. Yeah, there is some words is different, and you will know, oh yeah, like me, I will tell you example and you will laugh. Every time I go to Aleppo and I speak, they said, "You are from Aleppo?" I said, "Yes." And he said, "Your accent or dialect is not Aleppo." When I said the word halla, I said, "Oh yeah, you are from Aleppo." Yani halla means now, and they said, "Oh yeah, you are from Aleppo." I said,
They could tell when you said that word. That's cute.
Yes.
How
Yeah.
old were you when you first started studying English?
هلا احنا in Saudi Arabia there is English. In Syria there is English but difficult, but our English in Saudi and in Syria is British English.
Ah,
Yani until now, I always tell them this example. I said, in America they said apartment. In Saudi Arabia or Syria they said for the apartment flat. Until now, I tell them this example. I said, I remember. And there is another word for elevator also.
a lift.
Lift, huh? See?
Yes, yes. I lived in London, so I remember the vocabulary differences.
Yes. I tell them the same English, but America has their more, maybe it's not accent, more difficult or more words.
Interesting.
Yes.
How old
Yani
were you
even
when you?
my husband, I'm sorry, I interrupt you. Even
No,
my husband, when he came here
Mhm.
in 2000, when he came, 2002, he came, he thought he will do research and then he will be fellowship and stuff like that because he's a doctor. He said, Mouna, every word I write it is different English.
So
Yani,
frustrating.
yes,
That's really hard. That's
yes.
really. How old were you when you first started studying English?
We study English in the 5th grade or 4th grade. Yes, we study English. Yes.
Was it hard when you?
Because the English is second language. I'm sorry, I interrupt you.
No. I interrupted you, I think. When you came here, did you find it challenging to speak English?
I speak English, but sometimes I have what you call it, like the th. For example, they said th. I see a s, and I miss all the words. And
See,
even
it's
until
hard.
now, until now, when I speak to them, they understand me, but they laugh or make fun about the word I say it. Like, for example, south and north. When I speak it by quickly, I am telling you, but this is correct and perfect. When I speak it quickly, I say south. And when I say south, they make it fun. I said, okay, as you
It's a
like, I
challenging word.
understand myself, and the people, they understand me.
They understand you.
Yes, yes.
So how old were your children when you first came here?
My son, he was 3.5. My daughter, she was 1.5.
And now how old are they?
My son, he's 14, and my daughter, she's 11.
So do they speak
They
Arabic at home?
fluent in, oh yeah, sure, yeah.
And their English
They-
must be wonderful.
what my English, they are corrected me.
They're correcting you. It's easier when you're younger,
Yani,
maybe.
imagine they want me to say, instead of Costco, they want to say Costco. Mama, Costco. Yeah, yeah. Guys, it's Costco. No, Mama, Costco. I said, okay.
Do you speak Arabic at home with them?
Yes. We speak Arabic. Me and my husband, we speak Arabic. We speak with them Arabic. If they speak English, I don't understand. Even I understand. I said, oh, I'm sorry. What the word? What the word?
So it's important for you to make sure that they're
Yeah, because between of them, even they are playing or Hada, they are speaking English. I said, Mama, Arabic. Mama, speak Arabic. Even between of you, Mama, we are speaking. I said, my son, because he studied in Syria, what you call it, pre-K1. We have pre-K1, pre-K2, kindergarten. Then he's supposed to be first grade. But here in America, they make him kindergarten before. And by the way, he's January. That's why they put him kindergarten. But because 3 years in Syria and they study Arabic, his Arabic, when he speaks to me, seems fluently. But when Sima speaks to me, she speaks to me English with some words in Arabic with some words in English. Like one time she said to me, Mama, we are playing in the school, all this sentence in Arabic, swing. I went to slide. I went and play slide. All the sentence in Arabic, in English, in Arabic, but the slide in English. I said, slide? What do you mean of slide? And she said, Mom, I don't know what the slide in English, in Arabic. I said, slide means like this in Arabic. And she said, oh, okay.
That's hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's good that you're teaching them, that they're getting both of those languages.
Yeah, because they will forget. And they will forget the language. It will be hard for them to speak to other people in Arabic, or if they go to Syria and visit Syria, they cannot speak Arabic.
Have you brought your
language
kids back to Syria? Have they spent time there or no?
No, from 2013, see, I told you the TH. From 2013, we didn't go back to Syria. I can go back, but sometimes I said to myself, I have my mom and dad here. And my sister, she maybe or hopefully she will come here. Only my relative. Hopefully one day I will come.
Your mom and dad now live here in America?
Yes, from 2005.
Was that a hard adjustment for them being older?
Then my mom, some people she's because she's older than me, the English is difficult for her. But also like me, some people, they understand her.
When Americans think about Syria or Aleppo, of course, images of the war come to mind. Can you talk a little bit about what happened in Syria that led to your decision to come here?
Now we were having our home there. Let's say it's like yeah, our home, like it's a big apartment, like not like here, small apartment, like a big apartment, 6 rooms and balcony for 10 basketball or soccer players, a big balcony. What happened is the war started in 2011, but not in Aleppo. In Hamas is another city. Then what happened is in 2012, it started in Aleppo, started in another area. It's, you know, like Maryland, there is Rockville, there is Virginia. Even Virginia is another state, but it's just closer to Maryland. But what happened is we are hearing the sounds. My son even, he said, wow, bomb. I said, no, mama, it's not a bomb, it's a faculty. Even my sister, she told her kids is the same age for my, with my son and daughter. I said, no, mama, it's not a bomb, it's a faculty. And she said, faculty? No, you didn't see the smoke. It's a smoke of bomb. I said, smoke of faculty. He said, no. My son, he's clever. He understands.
You were trying to protect your children?
Yes.
Would not be afraid?
Yeah, to not be afraid.
So you said it was a factory, not a bomb.
Factory is not a bomb. And even that, he said, no, it's a bomb. And see, all the stores are closed. Why all the stores are closed? And my home, it's near to a village. They are sending bombs. After that, there is a village near my home sending bombs. And even I see from my balcony, I see the bombs. What happened is 2 times we went to the shelter because the airplane is above our building. But my son, he's 3.5, and you know, in this age, 3.5, and even in my country, the boy is clean. He can go to the bathroom by himself, and you can take him, but he's clean, no diapers. Imagine, because of 2 times and bombs and sounds and stuff like that, we start over. Sima, she was 1.5. She don't notice, she's not she cannot notice that bomb or not bomb, but you see or hear and feel the bombs and the hearing and stuff like that. And one time building in front of us burned, and we were in the shelter, and thank God the people, they were in the shelter. And by the way, we don't have shelter. It's where you put, what you call it, not the mazot, not the gas, the other one, I think mazot. It's like, it's not a shelter. Where is you put the stuff, you go there. There is no shelter for in Syria, like in America, no shelters. But 2 times we went there, and one time one person was doing warm himself by what you call it, like a small box, put some wood to warm himself, because no electricity, no water. Electricity come only two hours, and water come only 4 hours a day. That's why he was warming himself. My husband, what he thought it's a fire. Immediately he called his mom, and we run to his mom home. His mom home is closer to the city, is not closer to the bombs. But then from that day, he called his brother and told him, please send us the paper that you give us in 2010. And we said, no, we are fine. Now we want this paper, the green card paper. Even my husband, he was one, like I want to go. No, I don't want to go, because he has his own clinic. Why he will go? He has his own clinic, but he said, and I said to him, it's God protect us, but it's for your kids situation, and people, they are paying a lot of money for a green card. But this green card coming to you like this, take it. And if we have a chance to return back, we'll return back. You have your own clinic.
It
That's
must have
why,
been a very frightening, scary
yeah,
time.
that's
You were
why
the mother.
in that case, yeah, in that case, we decided to move. Other than that, we will not decide. Every country has negative and positive, but it was too much for us. Yani even for him. When I am by myself, really, I called Wasim. I said, "Oh, I hear bump. Are you okay? I don't know if the bump is near me or not near me, but I am okay." If he is at home and he's scared, I told him, it's okay. Nothing happened. We are together. The kids are with us. We are good. 2 times we sleep on the hallway, not in our beds, because you never know when it's the building will go down. And it was, I think people that they stay more than that, they have more stuff than us, because we moved in 2013. Yani we have 1 year, like scary year, not more than that. Yani they said, no, done for us.
Can you describe a little bit what it felt like to be a mother of young children living in Aleppo at that time? What was going through your mind?
Yeah, it was scary, worried about the kids, because even one time, Omar was at school and there is bomb, and they called me from school. They said, "Oh, we are taking another road." Even the school, it's walking, it's 10 minutes, but they take him with a small, bus. It's like to make enjoyable, to have the kids enjoy. But they said, "Oh, don't worry, we will be late because we are taking another road. It seems like there is a bump. Where is the bump? We don't know." Even the school was close.
Wow.
It was scary. That's why I told God, protect us. I know, but more protection, and we are taking our reasons. Let's go out, me and you. I know it's a new start, but this is the solution, because
But
it's protecting the kids, yani, and for their, what you call it, their about their worries, when they feel about their feelings, because Omar knows everything.
was it difficult to get the paperwork to come here? Like
Allah,
the
we went, no, we it's not, it's the papers didn't come to Syria, it come to Turkey.
so
That's why
you went to Turkey first?
we went to Turkey first, and we have a wonderful journey. That's why until now, Omar, remember it. It's not wonderful. I am joking. It's we went. Wasim's uncle, he has a car. He said, "Oh, I know the road. I am always from Turkey to Syria, from Syria to Turkey." Oh, yeah, good, wonderful. Let's go then. This is Saturday. Let's go. Me, my family, my mother-in-law, her son, my sister-in-law. We were 3 cars. Wasim uncle, and my mother-in-law's car, and my sister-in-law car. They are behind us, right? And there is a bag above the car. And then we went, and he said, "Okay, I know there is a gas station nearby. Let me fill the trunk." We were surprised. Oh, the stores are closed. Nobody in the street, no car, no person, no nothing. Immediately appeared a person, and he said, "What you are doing, guys? Return back." He said, the uncle, he cannot hear. He said, "Huh?" And Wasim, he said, go inside." He said, "Return back, what we are doing here." And when we are returning back, imagine, in front of us, 1,000 person, men. We don't know, they are enemy, military, from the nation of the military. I don't know, they have their guns like this in front of us. Until now, Omar, remember that. Tell him, "Omar, what did you see?" And imagine, Omar, I think last year, I told him, we maybe with my mother-in-law, we will go to Syria. My mother-in-law, she went there. My mom, she went there. She said everything is okay. And Wasim Omar said, no, we will not go there. Everything is destroyed. Why you will go
Is
there?
Amr your son?
Yes, Omar is my son. He
You
said,
had memory. He has memories still of this.
yes. He said, why you will go there? Everything is destroyed. Everything is not hada. When it will fixed, I will go there. I said, Mama, people, they are going there. People, they are visit Aleppo. She said, no, 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 no. When it will be okay. He remember.
How old was he when
He was 3. He
so he
was 3.5 because we came here. He was 3.5, 2013.
So you saw all these soldiers in the
Yes, we saw all the soldiers and they told us back up, return back. And when we return back. Thank God everybody is safe. When we take the luggage, the suit bag from the above that car, imagine there is a bullet from one side to the other side.
Oh my gosh. Oh
It's
my
a hole of bullet.
Wow.
Then I take out all my pants, all of them has a hole. And it was what do you call it, 1 centimeter, one inch from my husband's head, because it was like the luggage on the top of the car.
Oh my gosh.
There was a sniper, but he was shooting us, shooting them. We don't know.
I can't imagine also what it was like to pack all of your things. Like, how
Yeah,
did you
from
decide
that
what to
day,
bring with you?
yeah, from that day, Wasim, he said, no, 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 we will not go back, go to Turkey. Then they told him, you can do that, people pay some people and they know the road. You can go by them, and really we pay some people, they know that the road, the highway, and always when you go from one country to another country, you go by highway, right?
Right.
But in that day, because of the war and everything, we go by villages. That's why instead of take 1 hour from Syria to Turkey, or half an hour, because Aleppo and Turkey, they are close. It take us 2 hours because we are from one village to another village, from one village to another village, and you feel very sad. Everything is in the ground, everything is destroyed, no tree, no human, no buildings, everything is down. Until now, Omar said, no return back. Every time I said to him, we will go visit there. Mama visit there twice. Your grandma, she visit there. I said, no way.
When you were traveling with them, were you thinking maybe we won't come back?
Me, when the first time he called, or his brother called, what they were negotiate. What do you want? Round trip or one trip? You know what I told them? I told them, one trip, I will not go back until I get my passport, my citizenship. This is the first thing I told them. Mouna, you want one trip or 2 trips? I said 1 trip, and I will not come back until I have my passport.
How did you decide what to take with you and what to leave behind?
I took only the things that important and some clothes. Other than that, no. Imagine, and of course my jewelry, my jewelry that my mom and my grandpa and my mother-in-law give me when I married. I bring it. Imagine that my home when I married, I have only the living room. I have dining room and guest room, but was a room. There is no stuff, no furniture. My husband save and I save, and we buy our furniture. We didn't sit on it and we go.
You left it all behind.
This is my kids, they didn't sleep on their bed, the one that I buy it for them, because they were little, but it's also new.
What year was it when you went to Turkey?
2013.
And how long did it take you the second time when you went from village to village?
This is no, this is the story that when we go with his uncle, it was Saturday. After maybe 3 days or 1 week, we go with these people, and we go from village to village, and we stay in the borderline, on the
On the border.
border
Mhm.
between Turkey and Syria,
Yeah.
4 hours. And
Wow.
they tell us we are the last car. Imagine the cars behind us, they stay, they close the board.
You
They
were the
said
last
after
car to go through?
we are the last car. We stay, yani me and my sister-in-law and my mother-in-law.
Wow.
We stay 4 hours, and the kids, no, thank God they have water. We didn't eat, we didn't drink, only water, and they stay in the car until they, because you know what they are doing, because they are scared, and this is their rights. They are scared. They open all luggage. Every person in the car, they open their luggage in the Turkish side.
Wow.
Because in the Syrian side, there was no government. Then
Yeah.
now there is government. But before, when we get out, there is no government. I mean, yani, the people on the border, I don't think they are the government. I don't know.
How long did you stay in Turkey?
We stay for a couple, maybe weeks, until our papers finish.
And you knew at that
because-
point that you wanted to
Or
continue
1 month. Yes,
to the United
because
States?
because I told you in 2012, Wasim called his brother. He said, "Please bring the papers." Done. I am
So
done.
did you have family in the United States already to help you get
This is his brother, the one he was here 20 years ago.
your brother-in-law
Brother-in-law, his brother, Wasim brother. Yes, my brother-in-law.
in here? Was he here in Maryland or in a different city?
No, in Maryland. That's why we stay in Maryland. Until now, we stay in Maryland.
Interesting. So you had some family here to help you adjust a little.
Only his only I have my auntie and my uncle, but they are in another state. They didn't help because they are in another state. But and my mom also in here, but she's in another state. But when we came in 2013, we came only in Maryland because his brother, my brother-in-law, he's here from 2013, and he helped. He support us, and he help us.
What was it like when you first came to the United States? Was it what you expected it to be, or was it different from what you had imagined?
Me, and I didn't, يعني, only I was worried because I have my scarf.
Yeah.
Yeah, only I was worried because I have my scarf. Other than that, I was joking with my husband and stuff like that. But my son and kids with me, yani, they are surprised about the culture. Like, you know what, when they see boy and girl clothes in the bus or metro station. We don't have this in our country, very close. They were very close. And I told Amar, hey, Amar. Yeah.
So did you face discrimination because of your headscarf? Did people make comments about it, or did you?
Yeah, they make a comments. I was in Roanoke in 2014. Because my husband has his first job in sonographer in 2014, and I was walking with my son he was walking, and my daughter, she's in the stroller, and from my home to the mall, it's half an hour walking. And then the guy with the Toyota truck, I don't know what he said, blah 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 blah, scarf. I said, okay. Then he was talking about me, about my scarf. But he was talking about, I don't know. This is only the problem. And even though, not even though, even my mom and grandma, her mom, said to me, Mouna, you are not scared? Take your scarf. I said, no, I will not take it. And even my friend, she said to me, I was having scarf when somebody appeared the gun in front of me, and I asked, I took the scarf. I said, okay, when somebody will come and hit me or something, I will take the scarf. Other than that, no, I am okay until now. They will say bad words until tomorrow. I don't care. I don't want, no. But in New York, even they were talking to my husband. I know they didn't talk to me, but they are talking to my husband. Are you Jewish? Are you Spanish? Because he's white and black hair, but they think he's from Spanish or something. Yeah.
I I have so many questions that I want to ask you based
Yeah, no
on
problem.
that. Do you feel living in Colombia now that you can wear your headscarf and people are respectful of you, or do you still feel like some sense of discrimination against you because you're Muslim?
No, no. Even in Montgomery or Columbia, there is some now. There is more people. They have scarf. You will be okay. I will not be shy, or I will not be afraid. You will be afraid when you will be by yourself. Allah, when I go to
Hmm.
Oregon, you don't
Oregon.
see, yeah, Oregon, there is no lot of people. You can, maybe you will see one or two have a scarf. Imagine I go to mall in Washington Square Mall, no person has a scarf, one or two. I am by myself. I said, okay, I am special today.
But here you feel like you have a larger
Yeah,
community.
here there is a lot of people. I am not scared. Oh, I am have a scarf. The other people have a scarf. It's okay. This is my personality. They don't like me. It's their problem.
Did have your children faced any discrimination being Muslim here? Did they ever have difficulties?
No, only because my son, he's what you call it, very white, yani more whiter than me. Sometimes they make fun of him. And Hada, first when he was kindergarten, even we were in Montgomery, by the way, in next to my mom and mother-in-law. And he always come and complain, Mama, they hit me. Mama, they are telling about my forehead. Mama, Kaza. I said, Mama, maybe they are afraid from you, like you are afraid from them, because they are not the same, what you call it, not from the same environment. I said, you are different. But when they say you, see you clever or nice and don't care, they will be nice to you. But if somebody hit you, tell the teacher. If the teacher didn't respond, hit him and tell the teacher. Every time I tell them, even now, Seema is not whiter than me. She's the same color of me, or maybe darker. Seema, she's having issue with her kids, with her it's just my friends. But I said, Seema, it's okay. They only want you to not be clever. Tell the teacher. And I spoke to the Hada and to the principal, and they did well. Yani it's not because she's a Muslim. Maybe they want to make fun. Yani, even to other kids, they make sometimes fun.
But generally, their experience has been pretty positive.
Yeah, positive. No, nobody will bother him because you are a Muslim. No, there is the, and by the way, there is in their school, I notice it in this Colombia more than Montgomery. They will text you that Eid Mubarak, Ramadan Mubarak. They tell you, people, they are fasting, go to the library. In Montgomery, until Sima was 2, or Omar, he was until 5, Omar until 5th grade. They didn't tell him that. They didn't tell them, go to another room because you are fasting, you are not eating. Here they tell them, there is another section, read book, read something if you don't want to be in the lunch area.
Oh, that's very
Yes,
respectful.
I didn't hear that from
Okay.
Montgomery. I hear it here. No, for the Muslim issues, I don't have any issues. Only was having when I came here for a scarf, and because I am also Ronok, there is not a lot of people they have a scarf. One or two, or never.
In Roanoke, Virginia.
Yeah, Ronok, Virginia. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you face difficulties there?
And it's only be by yourself, like like you are special, and no, you have only the scarf. You worried what they will do, what they will say. And even I tell my husband, oh, they tell this guy, he was in the truck and said blah 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 blah, blah scarf, and that's mean that he's cussing me and cussing the scarf. And he said, Wasim, don't worry, unless he didn't do anything for me. I said, thank God nobody did something for me.
God.
Yeah.
So your husband was a doctor in Syria. Was he able to find work in medicine here doing the same kind of work?
Here, you know, here there another protocols and another exams. They want you to be a graduate from here to be a doctor, but there is steps, like 3 exams. He had the step 1, step 2 from 2002 and 3, and before he married me, and that step 3 until now he didn't get it. But you know, back home, the radiologist, he do the ultrasound, he do the x-ray and the mammogram, and he write the report. In this country, no, there is a technician do that, and the doctor write only the report. And the sonographer, he writes a small report, and the doctor will write a big report.
So is he
That's
working
why
as a
here,
sonographer here?
yes, that's why here he took the exams
Mhm.
as a doctor, or as a, yeah, they put him as a doctor, take exams as a sonography exams, and work as a sonography. Now he work in a doctor OBGYN doctor office as a sonographer to see the fetals, all the women's OBGYN, and he work in John Hopkins Hospital as a sonographer, but everything. What do you call it? Venous, musculoskeletal, OBGYN, everything. What do you want? Everything in sonographer in the hospital.
Does he feel frustrated at all that he can't do exactly what he was doing before, or does he feel happy with his work now?
Hala, he's between. I tell you why. Because he's doing what he used to do in Syria, but not writing a report, and feel sad because some people here, they are writing the report, like the radiologist, he's writing the report, and sometimes it's not right, or some have issues, or they don't understand it. And she said, why I didn't do this test? Let me take this test to finish it, and I'll be a doctor. Yani, this test, he will be a general doctor, not a radiologist. And he will have an ID doctor. You know, there is, for the doctor, there is an ID. He will have it. And I told him many times, but he has also, yani, he's right. He will work or study. Yani, if he's working from 9 to 6, when he will have time to study, he will come tired. Like me, I am studying great, but I am not studying like the people, they are not working at all. The people, they are not working at all, they are studying 14 hours. I am studying maybe 1 or 2 hours. And I am not putting my all, what you call it, energy.
Focus. Yeah. So you have your responsibilities for your children, you have your job, and you're going to school.
Exactly.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah, that must be
Exactly.
very tiring.
Exactly. Like I am taking biology, right? The friend that she's taking biology, guess how many classes she's taking? She's taking 5 classes. I said to her, 5? How you are managing 5 classes? And she said, I don't have kids. I don't have work. I am by myself. I said, oh, yeah, you're right.
I think a lot of people don't really understand sometimes what community college students have in their lives in addition to school, like the
Yes, yes,
working and
exactly.
taking care. It's a lot. It's exhausting.
Yes.
But you're making so much progress even in these past few years. You've really moved ahead in your career, your language skills, your children are healthy. It's really wonderful to see how much progress you've made.
Thank you.
One last question, because our
Yes,
hour is
yes.
up, but how do you feel talking about all these memories today? How does it make you feel?
I feel like I am happy, like I am giving my experience, my what happened to me to other people to know, like not only I am like a Muslim, I have a scarf. Oh, she don't know anything. Maybe she's nothing. She's not educated, or her language is not English perfect. No, I am studying, continue studying, working, have a kids and family. And how we from that, what you call it, that experience, bad experience, we have something. I know not only a career, not, for example, what you call it, some people, they have their own career, like an own business, not yet in this situation yet, but at least I am working. I am showing my kids, like, see, I am not stopping, like I have my education and stop. No, I am continuing. My husband support me. Last time I told him, the teacher said, I am clever and you want to be a doctor? Oh, go ahead, be a PA. I said, professor, you want me to be a PA? I have 2 kids. It's a lot. And she said, no, it's not a lot. You will manage it. Go ahead. I said, I will see. But this bad situation and leaving my country and my home, my sister, until now, I have been 11 years. I didn't see my sister and her kids. I see her on WhatsApp, but it's not like physically touch her, drink coffee with her, blah, blah, blah. And she's younger than me 1 year. From that situation and leaving your country, your things, and coming here to something you don't know, then you have something. You work, you have your kids, they are successful. My son, mashallah, he's, God bless him, he's getting subjects more than 8th grade, 9th grade.
You must be very
Sima,
proud.
yeah, Sima now, she like math, thank God. Yani, in this situation, I am happy. I am giving my experience, tell them about my bad situation and how to let the people that don't stop. Oh, I have bad situation. Oh, I will stop. No, go on. Maybe you will be successful woman, successful man, not woman only. Successful man. You will have something. Don't say, oh, I am coming from another country. Maybe it's difficult. It's difficult, but you will have it. You will go on. You will find your way.
You certainly have found your way, and you certainly
Yeah.
are showing all that you have been able to accomplish after all of these very, very challenging experiences. Mouna, thank you so much for sharing your story today.
You're
I'm
welcome. You're
really
welcome.
thank-
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm going to stop the recording.